Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pamela. If you're new, I am a licensed esthetician. I do specialize in the treatment of acne and multicultural skin, and I am also a virtual skin consultant, which means that on my website you are able to book virtual consultations or virtual sessions all related to skin. So if you have a particular skin condition you'd like some professional help with, I'm your girl. Now, speaking of summer-related content, why don't we talk about one of the most important skincare products year-round, but especially during the summer? Sunscreen! Now, I know y'all read the title of this video. We are going to get into it in just a second, but first, I do want to list some honorable mentions. I do have several other sunscreens that I think would make amazing options, so let's go through them. Quick little countdown. So coming in at number 7, we do have the Brown Lab Birch Juice Moisturizing Sunscreen. It has an SPF of 50 and a PA+++ rating. Now this sunscreen, personally I have not tried it yet, but it is on my list. This product comes highly recommended. In fact, it is, I believe, the top selling sunscreen in South Korea. So it is extremely popular. It is extremely beloved. From what I hear and from what it looks like, it does seem like this sunscreen goes on more so like a moisturizer rather than that, you know, kind of sunscreeny feeling. So it's not going to be overly thick. It's not going to be greasy or really hard to rub in. This really does seem like an amazing sunscreen, and of course all of my sunscreen recommendations have no white cast, no pilling, they work under makeup, and they will leave your skin with a beautiful glow. Like I said, I haven't personally tried it yet, but it is next on my list. I'm going to purchase it as soon as I run out of some of my current sunscreens. Next option coming in at number 6 on the list, drumroll please, is the Beauty of Joseon Rice and Probiotic Sunscreen. It has an SPF of 50 and a PA++++ rating. Now this sunscreen is also pretty affordable. I do recommend getting it from a website like Stalvana. It does often have the cheapest price points for K-beauty products. The shipping is a little sus, I'm not gonna lie to you. The product might take a couple weeks or a month to come, but for some people the price point is worth it. A lot of these products will also be available on Amazon, and I'll have everything linked below, so no worries. This sunscreen, I'm sure many of you may have heard if you were on Skin Talk, which is just skincare TikTok. It definitely went viral. It is extremely popular here in America, and I gotta say it's popular for good reason. This was one of the first sunscreens I've ever used that did feel like a moisturizer. It sort of felt like a water cream going onto the skin. The texture of this was absolutely fantastic. Like, it really did not feel like sunscreen. It just felt like another skincare product. It left a pretty natural finish with a slight glow. There was no pilling. Like I said, it's also affordable, but there is one tiny thing about this sunscreen. It does leave behind a very slight purple cast, so I would be aware of that. I did notice it on myself, and I do think that it would be more apparent on deeper skin tones potentially. I don't know though, because I've seen some creators who do have brown skin or deeper skin that really like this sunscreen, and I've seen others who did mention the white cast as well. So to each their own, but I'd probably recommend checking out another one of the products on this list just to avoid that potential purple cast, because the rest of these products definitely won't give that. Coming in at number 5 on the list, drum roll. This is a sunscreen that y'all have probably seen me talk about. It is the Isntree Hyaluronic Acid Airy Sun Stick. Now this sunscreen is a little bit different because rather than being in the traditional moisturizer or lotion form, it is a sun stick. Now sun sticks are perfect for reapplication. I wouldn't necessarily recommend using this as your base sunscreen. You will get better coverage, therefore better protection from using a lotion or a cream type that you can spread out all over your face pretty evenly and in a thicker amount, you know. But sun sticks are so convenient when you're outside and you just need to reapply that sunscreen. Which, pro tip, you should be reapplying every 2 hours. I know it's hard, but at least try, you know. I mess up too on the reapplication. I think it happens to a lot of us. But this product makes it way more convenient. It does have a teardrop shape, so it's easily able to reach into those nooks and crannies of the face. It does not sting around the eye at all. It's completely invisible. Like I said, no white cast, no pilling. Now when reapplying sunsticks, you do want to make sure that you are using multiple layers of the sunstick. Don't just do one swipe across your skin and think that you're getting the full SPF 50 amount of coverage. You gotta go in, I would say, at least 4 times. 4 swipes in that same area, and do that for the whole area of the face as well as the neck. Do not forget the neck, y'all. When it comes to sunscreen, when in doubt, apply more. Some people do use this over makeup to reapply sunscreen. Personally, I don't, because I do find that it sort of messes up the the makeup a little bit, but you know, to each their own. And also, as long as we're talking about sunscreens here, if y'all are thinking that the moisturizer that you have that has like a little bit of SPF 15 or the makeup product that you're using that has a little bit of SPF, that's not enough sunscreen, y'all. Especially when it comes to makeup products that do contain sunscreen, I find that naturally a lot of us are going for the overall finish, we're going for the aesthetic, we're going for the look, right? Not necessarily using that product to apply the proper amount of sunscreen. Now, if y'all know that TikToker, I believe her name is Meredith, who does like all the foundation and then puts it on her face and stuff like that, that's probably the amount of foundation that you would need to use to actually get broad spectrum protection with your sunscreen. And I just don't think that most people are doing that on the daily, you know? So I do highly recommend using an actual sunscreen as a base before applying your makeup, even if the makeup says that it has some sunscreen in it. You know? Want to make sure that y'all are getting protected. And of course, I feel like this sort of goes without saying, but let me voice it anyway in case people don't know. Sunscreen is not just for those with fair skin. Every single skin tone across the board can benefit from sunscreen. The more active melanocytes, which are the skin cells that produce the protein melanin, so the more active melanocytes you have in your skin, meaning that your skin would also be a deeper complexion. Yes, the more your skin is protected from the sun, however, the natural SPF that we may have is still not enough to protect us from skin cancer, and anyone is susceptible to developing it. You know, if there is a way to prevent these really painful diseases from happening and all it takes is applying sunscreen and reapplying it every day, I think that's worth it, you know? So moving on to the next sunscreen recommendation. Coming in at number 4, we have the Ilyun Easy Wash Sun Cream. Now, for the most part, all of these sunscreens are affordable. They are all under $20 USD. This sunscreen is $20.99, so technically a little bit over, but unlike all the other sunscreens that tend to be 50 milliliters or 1.7 ounces, this bad boy is coming in at over 5 ounces. That's about 150 milliliters. And honestly, with the price of sunscreen these days, that's a good deal. That is a good deal. Now, I will say with this one, it's not going to be the most luxurious feeling sunscreen. It definitely has the sunscreen smell, and it does feel like more of a traditional body sunscreen going on rather than some fancy face-specific sunscreen, you know? Like, it doesn't necessarily have the silkiest texture, but for the price point and the amount of product you get, fantastic. This sunscreen does work pretty decently under makeup, though I have noticed a little bit of pilling sometimes. It's not pilling to the point where it would ruin an entire makeup look, I think, in my experience at least. But this is the sunscreen that out of all the options does pill just a little bit. Overall, still a great option. It is decently affordable. Alright, coming in at number 3, another little drum roll, please. We have the Innisfree UV Daily Defense Invisible Broad Spectrum SPF 36 sunscreen. Now, this sunscreen is probably the most accessible out of all the options. It is sold at Sephora for about $16 USD, so again, very affordable. You can also get the sunscreen on Amazon as well as various retailers for Korean skincare, like Style Korean, Yes Style, Stylevana. SokoGlam is also a fantastic place to look for Korean skincare products. They're extremely reliable, the shipping is pretty quick too, and their website curates such a beautiful list of suggestions. It's actually fantastic for beginners who want to get into Korean skincare. They do have different quizzes that you can take, and the website makes it really easy to find exactly what you're looking for within your skin type. It is really a fantastic place to start when looking at Korean skincare and shop from there. Now back to the Innisfree sunscreen. I have noticed that a lot of my friends, specifically with combination and some with oily skin type, they really like this sunscreen. Again, all of my sunscreen recommendations do provide a bit of the glow. I'm not the one to go to for matte sunscreens or really any kind of matte products. That's just not my thing. I'm a glow girl, you know. Now this sunscreen is pretty lightweight. Again, like the last one, it's not that fancy in terms of application. It's not really gonna feel luxe, but it is a solid base sunscreen. It leaves a fairly natural finish with a bit of the glow. And yeah, it's very user-friendly. This is honestly a great beginner sunscreen too if you're just getting into the habit of using sunscreen daily on your face. Now coming in at number 2, we do have, drumroll please, the Crave Beauty Beat the Sun sunscreen. This one has an SPF of 40 and a PA+++ rating. Now, if y'all have tried Crave Beauty before, you know they don't miss. They do not miss. All of their products, it is a limited quantity, but still are fantastic. Even the products from them that aren't my favorite are still superior to a lot of other products out there. They're just a fantastic brand with fantastic morals and ethics. Highly recommend checking them out if you haven't heard of them or tried them out before. Now, this has been my go-to sunscreen for all of 2023 since it came out in like February. They actually sent me this product to try a little bit earlier, so I was able to try it at the end of January. And like I said, I've been using it pretty much every day since then. Now, it does come in at $20 for 1.7 ounces of product, so it is one of the more expensive products out of the list, but still relatively affordable, right? It has a super lightweight texture. It's almost runny, but not quite. It leaves one of the most beautiful glows to the skin. So much so that when I was still in aesthetic school, one of my professors would stop me. She's like, "Pamela, what do you have on your skin? It is glowing." So, you know, I had to let her know. So listen, if you want to try out the sunscreen that has estheticians raving too, I'm telling y'all, this is the one. It does not cause any irritation to my eye area personally, but I have heard some other people say that it did slightly irritate their eyes, so I put it on my eyes and it's fine. Of course, like I said, no white cast, no pilling, and this sunscreen lays beautifully under makeup. I'm telling you, you are going to have this effervescent glow. It is one of my top sunscreens of 2023, hands down. Now, let's discuss the reason why we're here today, right? What is this $12 sunscreen that everybody's just gonna love that's so fantastic and it's not greasy? Well, you know, we gotta hit them with a drum roll, please. It is the Haru Haru Black Rice Moisture Airy Lift Daily Sunscreen with an SPF of 50+ and a PA++++ rating. Y'all may recognize this sunscreen because I did tease it in my last video. I have been using this sunscreen. I'm not even gonna lie to you, I've only been using it for 3 days, but I immediately knew it was worth making a video on. I was instantly attracted to it because, first of all, if y'all know Haru Haru, they are such a fantastic Korean skincare brand. They're really affordable, they are fairly accessible too. The products are fantastic, and unlike some other skincare brands, their products are genuinely fairly universal. For example, their most popular product, the Haru Haru Wonder Black Rice Toner, is absolutely fantastic for every skin type. Like, they just make effective products that work and that are affordable. I love it. So when they came out with their own sunscreen, I wanted to try. But I was immediately attracted to this because it has a velvety finish and a non-grease appearance. Now that's hard to do because a lot of my sunscreens, I love the glow that they give, but so I put up with a little bit of the greasy look too. But this one, genuinely, you see the glow, but no grease. There is no grease on the skin. My skin just feels like skin. It just feels moisturized. And for the price point, this is the cheapest sunscreen on the list. And it's banging. It is banging. Technically, it does come in at $12.99 though, so I guess it's like $13 really. And I did pick it up on Amazon, so they are selling it as well. I saw on Yes Style and I believe on Stylevana too. For right now, this is a newer product. I believe it came out in the beginning of May. This sunscreen lays beautifully under makeup. You see the glow. You see, of course I got it on today. Y'all already know. Again, you know, sometimes with sunscreens, you will, or maybe you have experienced that little bit of pilling, right? Even some of my favorite sunscreens, like I mentioned in this video, they have made my makeup pill just a little bit. This one, literally that velvety base makes it fantastic for reapplying makeup or just applying makeup. I keep waiting for it to pill up and I keep using different skincare products with it and it's good every single time. I'm amazed. Like, do y'all hear the excitement in my voice? And for the price point, that's what I'm saying. It's so good. You're so good and you're so affordable. And of course, like I said, no white cast. Y'all already know. It does not sting the eye area. That is always one of the first things that I test out with sunscreens. Also in this video, if I didn't mention that a product did not sting around the eye area, that means it might sting around the eye area. Just saying, because I didn't explicitly say that, but like, I'm telling you now, it might. Now, this sunscreen has a pretty solid consistency. It feels a little bit more like a sunscreen than a moisturizer, and it's not super runny. So if there was anything that I could change about this sunscreen, I would want it to be just a little bit more lightweight. It's not at all heavy, in my opinion. I am someone with dry skin, but even having the dry skin, I don't feel like this is a heavy product where someone who has normal or combination skin couldn't enjoy it. But I do think that if you have a particular aversion to products that are just a little bit heavier on the skin. Like if you really want things that are only watery, then maybe this isn't the perfect sunscreen for summer for you. If that is the case, I would recommend the Paula's Choice Daily Hydrating Fluid Sunscreen. It is super watery coming out. It is the most watery sunscreen I've ever used, which means it is incredibly lightweight. But this sunscreen does come in at, it's almost $40. I believe it's $37 USD. So it is, you know, one of the more expensive sunscreens. Personally, I just have a philosophy where I don't want to pay above a certain amount for the basics. That includes cleanser, moisturizer, and sunscreen, because these are the products I'm using every day. And sunscreen especially, if y'all want me to reapply it throughout the day, you gotta make sure that price point is correct, you know what I mean? That's why I'm such a fan of this guy. But regardless of your skin type, I do think that everybody can benefit from at least one of the sunscreen options that I've given in this video. It's just so good, y'all. If I did not convince you to check it out, I don't know. It's okay, you don't have to. More for me. But I am just genuinely so impressed with this sunscreen, especially lately with trying out some other new sunscreens. If y'all did not see my last video, link is right here. And just dealing with the pilling underneath one particular sunscreen that may or may not have ruined multiple makeup looks for me and left me out in public embarrassed. It is just such a breath of fresh air to apply this one and know that it really has my back every time. For the price point, like I said, you can't go wrong. I mean, you can't go wrong. Now, all of the sunscreens that I mentioned in this video do use chemical filters. None of them are mineral. Mineral sunscreens tend to be a better option for sensitive skin. I do have slightly sensitive skin myself, and I'm totally fine to use chemical filter sunscreens. A lot of people with sensitive skin are okay to use sunscreens with chemical filters too, but if you do have a particular sensitivity to maybe an ingredient that is typically found in those chemical sunscreens, then I would recommend checking out a mineral sunscreen instead. But I primarily always recommend chemical sunscreens because they don't leave behind a white cast. Okay, y'all, so that's my little rundown of a couple summer sunscreen options for 2023 to get y'all right. And these are just Korean skincare options. Of course, there are plenty of other sunscreen options out there. Another favorite, it's not Korean, it's Japanese sunscreen, but y'all, fantastic. This has been my go-to for a long time. It is the Skin Aqua Moisture Gel UV sunscreen with an SPF of 50 plus and a PA, I think it's 3 or 4 pluses, I don't remember. But that sunscreen is also very runny. So it's got like a really watery texture. It is really lightweight. It is also very glowing, highly glowing, and does not pill at all under makeup. It's a really good, reliable sunscreen. It's also pretty affordable. I believe it's like $17 or $18 for over 4 ounces. So again, it's a good bang for your buck, you know? And then you do also have some other popular sunscreens like the Supergoop option, which I've tried, and just personally it wasn't for me. I don't like that silicone-y feeling. I do know a lot of people like it, you know, it does act as a primer too for makeup, and potentially people who do have an oily skin type or a combination skin type who are looking for something that's more lightweight might enjoy this one. It's not that it's very lightweight though, because it does have sort of a petroleum jelly feel almost. It feels really more like a primer, like very silicone-y. That's the best way that I can explain it. But yeah, to each their own. You know, sunscreen's about personal preference. At the end of the day, the best sunscreen to wear is the one that you'll remember to use. So I hope that y'all like these recommendations. And if you're looking for a good sunscreen to use this summer that is pretty affordable, I do definitely recommend this one from Haru Haru. I truly hope that y'all found this video helpful. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye! Stay safe.